Hello, everyone. It is time to go over the vinyl pickups I got from England. So I'm going to be kind of taking you through the record stores that I went to in Liverpool and in England, and I'm going to be showing you what I got. And I remember some specifics about the record stores, and I'll let you know as well. But the first record store I went to was Dig Vinyl in Liverpool, and again, most of these record stores kind of close around 6:30 time frame, so I was kind of a little bit in a rush for these two record stores to visit on my first day. So, um, fortunately, they were open and they had a Beatles section. Flip through that, and they had some 45s as well. So, started with the 45s here, and again, kind of my goal while I was over in England was to get some UK pressings, original 45s and albums. Um, So most of these 45s I'm going to show you are going to be UK pressings. So we're going to start off with one from 1963, and we got From Me to You and Thank You Girl on the black Parlophone label, and it comes with the original sleeve as well. And next up, we got Can't Buy Me Love, 1964, first pressing, back with You Can't Do That. And throughout all the record stores that I went through, there seemed to be a lot of the same 45 song titles, kind of over and over again. I definitely saw "From Me to You" and "Can't Buy Me Love." I think maybe "I Feel Fine" a lot of times, which I guess makes sense. They made a lot of them, stuff like that. But definitely was interesting. Like I kept finding the same 45s over and over again. But whatever different ones I did find, I ended up getting. And so for the Dig Vinyl record store, they did have a lot of used, a decent amount of used solo and Beatles records. They did have some rare ones as well, but they were pretty pricey. Like I think there was a Yellow Submarine mono, which I would be interested in getting, but not for 350 pounds, I would say. So a lot of the original pressings that they had, just like kind of the standard discographies of like Beatles for Sale. I think was there. They wanted like 75 to 150 pounds or something like that for original pressings. So passed on those because I already kind of have original pressings, and I didn't really take a look at them because I was going to pay for that much, even if it was like a slight variation, like a mono or stereo, that kind of thing. But what I did find for the LPs, I did get this early years featuring Tony Sheridan, and this is on going to be on the Contour label. And I think Parlogram mentioned, uh, Parlogram's channel mentioned this record as probably like the best sounding version of this album. So this came out in 1971, and it's on this white and blue Contour label. So it was like 10 pounds or something. So I decided to give it a shot. So I'll be interested in playing this and seeing how it sounds compared to maybe the U.S. release. So that was the only that was the only Beatles album I got there, and I do have found a couple solo ones, which happy to find, including a solo box set. But we'll save that one because I think it's my favorite find of the trip. But before we get into solo land, I did find this tribute album to let's see, what's his name? Ian Dury, I believe. Yeah, Ian Dury. And so this one came out in 2001. It's a UK pressing, and this has a song featuring. Well, Paul McCartney has a song featured on this album, and it's called "Partial to My Abracadabra." And that song is only, I guess, attainable in a physical format on this record or on a CD single. So, again, I got this for like $6 or something, and it also comes on gold vinyl. So there is the um, the label. kind of an interesting colored vinyl. It's got a gold center and a black rim. So again, this came out in 2001, and I guess now I have that Paul McCartney song. And I guess I'll maybe look for the CD single if that ever comes out and about. So that was kind of an interesting find. And then I'll show you some of the other artists featured on this album if anyone else is interested. If you can see that, there's the back. So, and the inner sleeve as well. And next up, addition to the Paul McCartney solo collection, very happy to finally have an original Flaming Pie from 1997. And this is also sealed with the hype sticker. And it's going to be staying sealed because I have the Flaming Pie archive collection, so I will just play that for right now. Um, so yeah, finally happy to have that. This came sealed, but it was a really good price compared to all the other stuff. So happy to pick that up. No real need to open this one again because I have the archive collection to play when I want to play it. But I would say my favorite find of this, they had a little box set section on the other side of the store. I kind of turned around and I was like, that's interesting. And it is going to be actually a U.S. box set, believe it or not, which was kind of like, okay. Wasn't expect that to find this year. But it's the Traveling Wilburys from 2007 box set. And it's called the Traveling Wilburys Collection. It's a 3 LP set. And I already took everything out, so I can just show you the inside of the box here. So that's what the inside looks like, and the other side is just a black box with a ribbon so you can take the stuff out easily. So it's a pretty tough to come by box set. I think it did also get reissued, but this is a original 2007 release, and it kind of has some goodies in here. You got this little envelope here, and it comes with a few postcards as well, saying that the traveling Wilburys are coming. So there are some of the pictures there. And this is what the back looks like. I guess that one's actually the actual postcard there. So it comes in a nice little envelope slip to put postcards in. And then it also came with a nice silvery looking booklet. So the front, there's the back, and just kind of some overall info about the band and about the albums inside the box set. The last little goodie before we get to the records is a kind of almost frameable, I would consider it, a poster here. Let's see if we can get that into frame. I think it says someday everybody's going to be a Wilbury. So very nice looking poster there. Might end up framing that one. Put it on the wall. Get a little Wilburys represented on the Beatles room, I guess. And so of course, as Traveling Wilburys Volume 1, a faithful reproduction of the album. And instead of the inner sleeve, it has just a little insert of what the original inner sleeve looked like. Because believe it or not, even in 2007, look at that. They gave a polylined inner sleeve for the record. So it's a nice shape. I gave it a little cleaning, and I already got a polyline sleeve to put it back in. And then, naturally, whatever comes after Volume 1, that's right, Volume 3, without Roy Orbison. And I've been actually listening to more and more songs off this album. Been enjoying it a lot, at least kind of through streaming. I've been kind of exploring this album a little more and finding some songs I really like off of Volume 3. I feel like a lot of people talk about Volume 1 a lot. So there's Inner and the Ribbon. And then kind of the lore of buying the set is that it comes with a bonus LP slash 12-inch EP, I guess you can say, of kind of some bonus tracks are kind of hard to find stuff on vinyl at the time. Comes with a nice little silvery cover here. So it says bonus 12-inch, and here are all the songs on there. And one of my favorite Wilburys song covers, "Runaway." I really enjoy the the cover that they did of that. So here's the insert for this record. Here is the label. Matches the cover quite nicely, I would say. Yeah, so it says "Handle with Care" extended version, "Like a Ship," "Vaccine," and then you got "End of the Line" extended version, "Nobody's Child," "Not Alone Anymore" remix, and then "Runaway" remix. I know "Runaway," again, the song I really enjoy. Um, Comes on a 12-inch single, original 12-inch single. So I'm trying to track that one down eventually. But for right now, I got it on this box set here. And that does it for Dig Vinyl. So pretty good start for the trip. And on that same day, I went to 81 or 81st Crenshaw, and they have a little bit of a slim pickings, I guess you can say. Um, it had new stuff in the front store and then used stuff in the back. And there wasn't any Beatles stuff in the back. I think I found 145, and of course it was like From Me to You. I think it was a reissue as well. And the only thing I thought about getting from the back, I think there was like a UK pressing of Dark Side of the Moon. But pretty early on in my trip, I was like, let me just hold off. It was not a first pressing or anything crazy like that, because they wanted like 18 pounds or something for it. So, but still having a UK pressing, Dark Side of the Moon might have been fun to have. But I soon find out that the Beatles stuff was on the front of the store, just on the right side, so I didn't have to go back to the used section. Anyway, but I'm pretty sure they had like no Beatles albums. It was just all solo stuff. I think there was a concert for Bangladesh, original UK pressing. I thought about getting, but I passed, and I ended up getting this one, another Paul McCartney album, "Tripping the Live Fantastic," and it comes with the hype sticker. So on the cover here. So I had a Tripping Live Fantastic Spain pressing, so I kind of upgraded that to this since it has the hype sticker. And I believe the U.S. pressing of it has a different hype sticker, like has a green live hype sticker on it. But that'll be something for me to track down for another day. But the good thing about this UK pressing is that the booklet is nice and glossy with all the photos, so it looks really nice. So I believe all the inner sleeves are also glossy as well. So I'll take out one of them and just show you. All the rest are pretty much the same. Now, unfortunately, with these single pocket sleeves that holds 3 albums, the cover kind of gets crushed a little bit. So a little bit crushed on this one. As you can see, glossy inner sleeves as well. But even if the cover's not in the greatest shape, the records are pretty much as good as you can get. So happy with that. Got a little hype sticker upgrade, and that pretty much concludes. Oh no, got one more store. We're kind of walking around Liverpool, and I was kind of doing a little bit more searching, and there was kind of like a little boutique, vintage boutique shop that has kind of more vintage kind of clothes and stuff like that. But they also had records in the basement. So we got there 30 minutes before they closed, but the record store, record part, was closed 30 minutes before they closed. So I didn't get to go down there. But they did have a box of 45s up on the counter, so I flipped through those, and I got a original Help Back With I'm Down, one of my favorite songs from 65, and I gotta find the original Polyphone sleeve for this one here. And they said that they might have some more Beatles stuff in the basement, but they wouldn't let me down on that day, so I came back the next day. They didn't have any Beatles stuff. They actually had a lot of imported U.S. stuff because I think the guy who kind of works in that part says he goes over to the United States and brings back U.S. pressing. So obviously, didn't want any of those. I didn't even again find a Beatles record down there. But anyway, day two after the Beatles in Liverpool tour, and after the museum, the Liverpool Museum, the Beatles Museum on Matthew Street, there's a Beatles kind of shop slash memorabilia shop, like a couple blocks down, and I wasn't really expecting much. I thought it was kind of more just kind of a kind of touristy, kind of newer, kind of memorabilia stuff. But there's actually a lot of original stuff down there, and there's actually a few rows of records. Again, mostly kind of empty and picked through, but I ended up finding some good stuff. I'll save the non-record thing that I bought for the last. It was one of my favorite finds of the whole trip. But I got a couple 12-inch singles. Says they were pretty cheap, and this one is Hope of Deliverance, the Steve Anderson remixes. And I believe this came out. When did this come out? Let's see. Let me show you the label here real quick. It's just on a plain white label with a white sleeve, and there is the little hype sticker for it. And let's see. This one came out in 1993, UK pressing. So it has Hope of Deliverance and Deliverance, different dub mixes and all that kind of stuff. And then there was George Harrison, Got My Mind Set on You, 12-inch on the old Dark Horse. Unfortunately, there's a version of this single that has a poster. So if I find one of those, I'll probably just sell this one off because um, it's the same thing. It's just the other version has a poster in it. So probably not the best buy there. I probably could have held off on that. But the best 12-inch single I found, um, if it's real, I'm a little skeptical because according to Discogs, there's about, it says there's only like 200 of these made. But is Paul McCartney's Good Sign. And this came out in 1989, kind of right around the this one single. I believe it was a B-side for this one. This is kind of a rare 12-inch single. Has a Good Sign on A side, and then a Good Sign groove mix on the B side. So um, I haven't really seen any bootlegs of this 12-inch single out there. If anyone knows any more information, I'm just a little skeptical that I kind of found this for a really like cheap price too. But I haven't found any like releases or anything talking about a bootleg version of this. But I'm a little skeptical about this one. But it's at least a good placeholder until I find a for sure real one. But on Discogs, 50 people have it and 50 people want it, and the median right now is $135, and I got mine for like $20. I don't know if it's because the guy didn't know what he was doing, which I kind of highly doubt. But unless he knows I was a bootleg, and again, it's a good placeholder for right now. But if anyone has any tips and tricks about that, please let me know in the comments. But the favorite find, and this was a goal of mine to complete the Let It Be box set. I have the cover and then the first pressing album, and he had two Beatles Get Back books. So I finally completed that um, by getting an original Get Back book. So I'm not gonna flip through it too much because these can get pretty fragile, but just Let It Be pictures, all that kind of stuff for the Get Back sessions. I believe this is like a little bit of a later version of it because it's just I think the credits are just printed on there. I think the early ones have like stickers or something like that on it, but didn't really matter too much to me because now I have the Let It Be box set UK box set completed by getting all the individual pieces. I think the only thing I had to pay for was the record album and then the book, and I got the outer box for free pretty much because the people selling it at the estate sale didn't know what it was. So I pretty much got a Let It Be box set for like $70 or something like that total. So not bad. Now I just gotta find a tray to go with it. That'll probably be the hardest part. And so that concluded that day. And right before we went back, when we went to London, I stopped by the store again just to kind of see if I missed anything. Um, and he actually said, "Well, a person just kind of came by with a stack of Beatles records if you want to take a look at them." I was like, "Sure, sounds good." And so these were the original albums I've been looking for like like $20-$25 a piece. Not the greatest condition, but it's like kind of what I've been looking for at the prices I wanted to. So I got just a common fifth pressing of Please Please Me right there. Not the greatest shape, um, as you can probably see by the back cover, but just a mono pressing. And it's a fifth pressing. I have a third pressing, and still was looking for uh, the gold label for this trip. Unfortunately, I did not see any of them, but that's okay. And then the other, we had about a stack, of about 10 or so. I had pretty much everything here, but the With the Beatles that I have was a stereo version, and the cover I had for the stereo version had You Really Got a instead of You Really Gotta on the cover. So I got a mono copy With the Beatles with the Gotta sleeve. So a little bit different variation there. And then, of course, it's on the polyfilm label. So this is still kind of the first uh, type pressing of With the Beatles. So shout out that store and for the guy. I'm guessing he was kind of realizing that I'm kind of a serious collector kind of guy and let me go through some stuff. So I appreciate him. Had some pretty cool stories about some records that came in, including like some lost Paul McCartney acetate that he gave a song that he gave to Cilla Black. It came through his shop. It was like the most expensive record he's ever sold. I think it was like $25,000 or something like that. So, um, so later that day, I went to a couple, I think about three other record stores in Liverpool, all in like a span of like an hour. And the first one was also kind of a, let's see, yeah, went to this one first. And this one was called Dead Air Records. So there's a little flyer for that. A little bit of a smaller store. Had about probably half new Beatles and half used Beatles, and it was probably about 15 records or so. And all the ones that were used I already had, except for this George Martin Off the Beatle track original pressing here. So I thought it was cool enough, cheap enough, and in really good condition enough to be like, yeah, sure, I'll pick this one up. So there's that one, and of course it was on the Parlophone label. Probably didn't get too much play back in the day, but that's why it's in pretty good shape. Had a box of 45s. Um, no Beatles in there, unfortunately, and they did have a rare wall behind the counter. But the only thing that was of interest to me is that they had a Twin Freaks album by Paul McCartney, but I just picked that one up for the record show not too recently. So that was kind of unfortunate. That I could have picked up a copy over there, but probably would have been a same price, if not a little bit more expensive. So the next record store I went after that was called the Jackaranda. It's also kind of a half bar place, and the record store was up top. And I tried to do a little research before I go to every record store. And I thought there was going to be more used records, but unfortunately it was all new. So I was like, well, dang, a little bit of a waste of time. But decided to just kind of flip through. I'm already there, and I kind of totally forgot about this release until I saw it. And this was for the National Album Day in the UK, and is the white vinyl version of Hard Day's Night. So pick that one up. I split it open, but I have not looked at the vinyl yet. So we shall do a little seal to review here. And polyline inner sleeve. There we go. And there it is. Nice crispy white vinyl 2012 version of this album, essentially. Um, but just kind of a nice special edition for National Album Day in the UK. So definitely got it a lot cheaper over there. I got it for the retail price and didn't have to pay for shipping or anything. So I thought it was worth getting since I was over there. So Jackaranda was not a waste of time after all. There you go. So those were all the record stores in Liverpool that I got to go to. And then when I was in London, I think I went to like 4 record stores in the span of about like 45 minutes. They were just like real close to each other, at least some of the kind of more touristy kind of ones. And again, everything closed at like 6:30, 7 o'clock. So I kind of timed them up the best that I could. So I think the ones I went to was Reckless Records and then Sister Ray. And Sister Ray, I think both of them, they have the records behind the counter, and they just have the covers out on the floor. It's just a really weird buying experience going for looking through records like that, because you kind of have to trust their word on the pressing that they're kind of describing. And it's like if you're on the fence about something, you don't really want to take it up and then look at it, have them find it, then you to look at it, and they're kind of like looking at you while you're like trying to analyze a record if you want it or not. And then there's probably people waiting behind you. It's just a little weird, but I understand the potential for stealing and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't get any albums. Again, really expensive. I felt like again original pressings. They want 100 to 150 pounds for original UK pressings. So the most of the records I got were the 45s there. This is kind of where I loaded up on this kind of little trip. Yeah, again with the 4 record stores in that hour kind of thing. So I kind of loaded up on the 45s here. So let me grab a little stack here. There we go. So here's the stack. I don't remember necessarily which 45 I got from this, which record store, but again, I went to Sister Ray's and Reckless Records. And I'm going to start off with a little Ringo here. And this one is from Reckless, because I kept the sticker behind there. And the reason why I got this, because it's a UK pressing, and it's on a nice blue label there. Doesn't really get much better looking than that. Let's see if I can get, there we go. So yeah, I know this is how it came out originally, but you can't really say no to that. At least I can't. I actually do have a blue tinted U.S. pressing, which is the rarer one. So first Ringo pickup of the trip, and next up, also from Reckless Records. Looks like I kind of kept the stickers for a little memory's sake, I guess. But we got We Can Work It Out. First pressing, back with Day Tripper, the Parlophone sleeve. I gotta do a little research in my book to see what year these sleeves came out in. If I need to swap any or find any more. But also Reckless Records here. I got Lady Madonna. Back with the Inner Light. And the last one from Reckless Records, I got Hard Day's Night. And Things We Said Today. Now this one, for whatever reason, they said it came with a reissue like sleeve or something. I don't know. So I tried to like there was a She Loves You, which also another record I saw a ton of 45s. I was like, can I just swap out like a sleeve for it? And they were like, no, it's kind of priced because of as is shown or something like that. So I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But I understand. And let's see. So these are gonna be from Sister Ray. All these here. So going for some UK singles, got I Feel Fine, Can't Choose a Woman, and then I think I also saw a lot of these ones as well. I Want to Hold Your Hand, back with another one of my favorite songs, This Boy, UK first pressings. And then since I was in England, it's probably like one of the most like sold 45, I think, the singles out there. Saw a lot of these Wings Mulligan Tire, so I just picked up a UK copy. It was pretty much dirt cheap, and there's back. And I guess this will kind of also go towards my recreation of the McCartney singles box set, since it did show a UK release. So there we go. And then a couple other UK Paul McCartney releases. I got Take It Away. We even got the little HMV sticker on it, and there's the label, solid label from 1982. And then we got Ebony and Ivory, also 1982, on Parlophone label. So again, those are kind of really, really cheap. Can't really pass on those too much. At least, again, I can't. And we're closing down to the last two spots that I went to. And this was when we were on our trip to Abbey Road on the bus tour. They actually stopped at a kind of Beatles record store memorabilia type small shop. Really cool. But didn't show up on any like Google searches for record stores. So it was a nice little hidden find. Um, they had two sections of Beatles records, so I was kind of getting excited. But unfortunately, they were all from the Beatles and kind of like that wooden crate box set. So the box set wasn't there. They just had the individual albums out, and I was just kind of like, I wish there was something a little bit different. There were some solo albums there, but they're like 35 pounds each, so I wasn't really going to pay an original UK pressing for John Lennon's rock and roll for that or something like that. But behind the counter, he did have a wall of 45s, so I picked up this really clean Ticket to Ride. Like this thing is like pretty, like this sleeve's pretty crispy, I would say. So kind of get a better look at that. And so the Ticket Ride, and yes, it is UK first pressing. And also on this trip, I was looking to start up some uh, some original EPs, UK EPs, because I just had like some of the reissues, and I didn't see any EPs for this whole entire trip until these last two stores. So I found an original Long Tall Sally EP, has the text there, the sold in UK text there, and I believe the rounded flip back corners. I believe. Yep, there they are. So happy to finally have some original EPs in the collection, and now the goal is, as you can probably imagine, to try to find some more. So, so after the tour, we wanted to go to one more record store, and just like before we go, we head back, and it was called I think the music exchange or the video exchange in Notting Hill, I believe. And lucky enough, they had a stack of Beatles records and solo Beatles stuff. Again, nothing too crazy there, and they had a big stack of 45s. In all the 45s, I didn't really find any foreign country picture sleeves there either. I think it was either UK pressings, and then the only foreign picture sleeves I saw were maybe like some Japanese ones. But again, I just wasn't really focused on that. But at this record store, picked up a couple more. EPs, starting with the Beatles number one. And I didn't even have a reissue of this copy, so I think this is a slightly it's an early press. No, this one's the first pressing of the Beatles number one. So very happy to add that. That's pretty good condition to boot. And I think this one is a early reissue of you got Twist and Shout. I don't. I think first pressings don't have the sold in UK text in the center there, but it's still like a very early um, issue of it. It sounds like maybe a 1963. It's a 64 pressing. So still, I was happy to find some original EPs if they just happen to stack up a little later in the trip. And then I got also some other 45s to finish it out. Um, I got another Can't Buy Me Love because it was a pound, and it was like a slight, label variation. I probably shouldn't have bought that. And then I got a couple solo 45s here. Got George Harrison, Got My Mind Set on You 45 version, but the labels, the silver injected label is just a little bit too cool for me to pass up for a couple dollars. So there's that label there. Still on Dark Horse. It's just a silver injected label, I think is what they call it. And then speaking of that, got the John Lennon Nobody Told Me, and kind of a similar style label, but this one is blue on the blue label that Polydor. So a couple label variations there, and then this whole time I was looking for like a Hey Jude like Apple 45, particularly like the three prong variation. But I didn't find any Apple singles the whole entire time, at least Beatles wise. I saw a lot of like Beatles related stuff, but I was just like, I gotta pick up an Apple 45. I don't care what if it's a solo or another related band. So I ended up picking up Helen Wheels back with Country Dreamer. I was like, man, I need to get like a solid Apple, and I ended up deciding on this one since it was really cheap. But we got a Badfinger, Come and Get It, Rock of Ages, came with the picture sleeve, Apple number 20, and just like I just had to pick one of these up because just one of the greatest labels in my opinion with the solid center. So I was just like, you know what, I was gonna pull the trigger here and just I gotta get an Apple here. So that was my Beatles related find there. And then the only 12-inch I would say I got a UK pressing of Good Night Tonight, and again I already have US pressings of this, but one thing that kind of sold me on getting to this was actually not just the cover or the label. There's the back, but the inner sleeve looks super cool, and it's like this could be like a standalone like without a cover. But I mean, it's like look at that inner sleeve, pretty cool, I think. So it has a Good Night Tonight on this side, and then a daytime, nighttime sunframe on the side on the Parlophone label. So yeah, I thought that was made it worth the pickup there. And again, it was only like $5 or something. So that was all the records from that record store. And I did actually pick up some CD singles because the UK is kind of known for their CD singles. At least I always think about that way. And I got Beautiful Night, and this is actually part two of the Beautiful Night single CD. I have part one, so now I got that completed. There is the inside and the CD. And going along with the Flaming Pies theme, it seems like I got the kind of Young Boy CD single. Has a Young Boy broomstick and then the Ubu Jubu radio stuff. Part two on this one. And then the last Paul McCartney, I got this pretty cool little Run Devil Run outer slip case. that came with a bonus interview disc. So I wasn't too familiar with this release, but it comes with the standard CD, the big old booklet, and a nice kind of record-looking resembled CD. And then it comes with a interview disc, which kind of made me like, yeah, I'll pick that one up. I think it's like a 40-minute long interview, so I'll have to take a listen to that and see what's on there. And let's see if this folds out to anything. Nope. So, pretty interesting little set there. And I do have a couple more CDs, and then this video is 40 minutes long, but well worth it because I'm having a lot of fun showing all this stuff I got. And the last CD single, I got George Harrison, This Is Love. And it has Breath Away from Heaven all those years ago and Hong Kong Blues. So yeah, I think this is this is actually a 3-inch CD single. So um, interesting. And the last CD, last find of the day is Beatles related, and this is part of the Live at the BBC Volume 2 release. I just got the promo. I have the promo CD, the promo EP, and now I have the promo sampler. Yeah. So here's the sampler, still sealed. I'll probably just keep it sealed for now. But yeah, it's kind of a UK promo sampler CD. All right, so that was a lot. Um, can't wait to kind of go through them all, organize them. I might have a day where I grab all the original UK singles I have and just kind of listen through them. And I'll be officially on the lookout for those that can complete a UK singles list, and maybe I'll get the Wilburys poster framed up in my room. Probably won't be visible, as not many posters are visible in this frame anyway. It'll probably be in front of me. That's about the only wall space I got left. And so I hope you enjoyed going through all those, kind of give you a better feel of what some record stores are like in England. And I still got some other stuff laying around from other past months of kind of collecting stuff over the months that's not from the England trip. So I'll probably do that kind of next, and then I'll have to probably think of some other ideas for some videos since I am now back home and for a good bit. So I'll be with the collection for a while, and I'll see what I can come up with. So stay tuned for all that, and thanks for watching.